That morning, no one in the hospital could have imagined that the quietly dressed man who stepped through the large glass doors was the very person who had made the existence of this place possible. David Beckham wore simple jeans, a slightly wrinkled gray t-shirt from a long trip, worn-out sneakers, and a black baseball cap pulled low over part of his face. No bodyguards, no fuss, no advance notice to the hospital's leadership. Beckham appeared just like any ordinary man, and that was what made the day so unforgettable. He walked through the main lobby with slow, steady steps, his eyes observing. Every corner of the hospital he had poured his heart, soul, and a significant part of his fortune into building. It wasn't just a structure of white walls and gleaming glass. It was Beckham's dream, a place to heal not just the body, but the soul of those in pain. But from his first steps inside, something fell off. The staff's faces were cold. Conversations between nurses and doctors were stiff, filled with procedural jargon and urgency. And most importantly, their eyes lacked the warmth he had hoped would be the soul of this place. Beckham didn't stop at the lobby. He kept walking deeper inside, down a long hallway with white tiled floors. There, a scene unfolded that tightened his chest. An elderly man, hair white as snow, frail and trembling, sat in an old wheelchair. His thin hands gripped the sides tightly, his body leaning forward as if he might collapse. His face was wrinkled with pain, eyes squeezed shut, breath labored, as if pleading for help. The man seemed to bend in the middle of the hallway with no family nearby, no one noticing. Staff rushed by, eyes on charts or handheld devices, no one stopping. Beckham's heart ached. He quickened his pace, approaching the man, gently touching his shoulder. "Sir, are you all right? Is there anything I can do to help?" The old man weakly opened his eyes, lips trembling but unable to form words. Beckham looked around, hoping to find help. Just then, a young doctor appeared at the corner of the hall. He wore a white coat, clutched a thick folder, an earpiece in one ear, mumbling as if on a call. Beckham raised a hand, his voice calm but urgent. "Excuse me, doctor, this gentleman needs help immediately." The doctor stopped, glanced Beckham up and down. All he saw was an ordinary-looking man in simple clothes, face hidden beneath a cap. Without a thought for the elderly man's condition, the doctor frowned in annoyance, removed his earpiece, and spoke with disdain. "Who are you? This is a hospital, not a place for just anyone to walk into. Leave now and stop bothering us." Before Beckham could say another word, the doctor turned his back and walked away, leaving Beckham standing there, stunned, beside the gasping old man. The shock wasn't from being insulted personally. Beckham had faced criticism on the field, endured the pressure of the spotlight. But this was a place where he had placed his faith in humanity, in medical ethics, and just because of his plain appearance, he'd been dismissed like a vagrant. His eyes followed the doctor's retreating figure, his heart sinking. The hospital he had dreamed would be a beacon of compassion now felt tainted with cold indifference. Not wanting to cause a scene, Beckham crouched beside the old man again. "Don't worry, sir, I won't let you suffer like this for long." He gently held the man's cold, frail hand, offering what little warmth he could. The man nodded faintly, a flicker of hope in his faded eyes. Beckham rose, looked around. Once more, a few nurses passed by, none stopped. Some glanced and quickly looked away as if they saw nothing. Disappointment swept over Beckham. He knew he couldn't walk away while this bitter truth remained. Not because of fame, but out of the duty of a human being, a man who once promised himself this place would honor every patient. With slow but determined steps, Beckham left the hall. A security guard who had seen the scene came over to assist the old man. Beckham headed to the reception desk where a young woman sat, tired eyes occasionally glancing at her phone. He tapped the counter lightly, his tone still polite. "Excuse me, could you tell me who's in charge of this area today?" The receptionist looked up, eyes a mix of irritation and condescension. "Why do you ask? You don't have an appointment, do you? We don't attend to people without appointments." "But fine, the senior doctor today is Dr. Andrew, but He's really busy. He doesn't see just anyone." Beckham sighed quietly. He knew that if he revealed who he was, everything would change instantly. But he didn't want flattery for his fame. He wanted the truth. He wanted to see this hospital for what it truly was. He turned away, kept walking, heavy-hearted but with resolute eyes. This place, he told himself, needed a wake-up call. The afternoon faded into evening, and the warm lights inside the diner glowed even more gently against the thin drizzle outside. Sarah brought over some extra napkins, straightened the small flower vase in the center of the table, and cleared the empty plates. David Beckham had finished his meal and was chatting happily with the two men. Likely a media assistant and a family member. Sarah stood by the counter, the card reader ready in her hand. She tried to appear calm, though her heart pounded in her chest. She knew the special guest was about to leave and might never come back. Part of her wanted to say something to thank him or maybe ask for a photo for Emily. But another part kept her rooted, afraid of seeming foolish, of feeling small in front of someone so far above her world. David was the first to stand, pulling out his credit card. Sarah approached, forcing a natural smile as she handed him the card reader. "That'll be $58, sir." He handed over his card without a word. As the machine processed the payment, Sarah glanced at the screen. Her eyes blurred. Slightly, maybe from fatigue? She had been on her feet nearly all day. The machine beeped softly, transaction complete. Sarah tore off the receipt automatically, and then she froze. She looked at the tip amount and thought she had misread. It tip $10,000. Sarah blinked, and blinked again. $10,000? She quickly double-checked the machine, scrolled through the transaction history. No mistake. None at all. She stood motionless, receipt still in hand, her heart beating so hard it hurt. This had to be an error, a button pressed wrong, a technical glitch. She turned to Grandma Lucy, voice trembling. "Ma'am, can you look at this?" Grandma Lucy slipped on her glasses, took the receipt. She fell silent for a few seconds, then muttered, "Good heavens, $10,000 tip." Sarah swallowed hard and hurried toward the table. But David Beckham and his companions were already on their feet, getting ready to leave. Sir, please, wait a moment." She called after him, her hand shaking as she held up the receipt. David turned back, his smile gentle. He raised a hand as if to say it was okay, then stepped closer and lowered his voice. "It's no mistake. You don't have to say anything. Sometimes one small gesture can change a whole day or even a life." He looked her straight in the eyes. "Take good care of Emily. That's what matters most." Sarah stood frozen, overwhelmed, unable to speak. Before she could find the words to thank him, they had stepped out into the New York rain. She watched his figure disappear into the crowd, still clutching the receipt like it was a treasure. A tear rolled down her cheek. Then another. She returned to the counter. Two moved to wipe them away. The few remaining diners began to murmur softly. An elderly man shook his head in wonder. A young couple exchanged gentle smiles. Grandma Lucy came over, resting a hand on Sarah's shoulder. "Are you all right, dear?" Sarah nodded, though the tears kept falling. "Ma'am." $10,000. He left $10,000 tip. "I can't accept it. I don't deserve it." Grandma Lucy pulled her into a hug, softly saying, "Don't say that. It's a reward for all your hard work. Not everyone gets something like this, but today someone truly saw you." Sarah sat down, clutching the receipt tightly, her mind racing. "With this, I can pay 3 months' rent, buy Emily new cleats, cover the electric bill, maybe even take her to see a real soccer match." For the first time in many months, Sarah smiled, a full, genuine smile from deep within. A week had passed since that rainy afternoon, but to Sarah, it felt like it had just happened yesterday. She kept the receipt that read tip $10,000 in a small box alongside her most cherished keepsakes. Emily's first day of school photo, the first ultrasound image, and the last letter her mother had left her. With that money, Sarah paid 3 months' rent in advance for their little apartment. She took Emily to the bookstore where the girl got to pick out her new school books, a few children's stories, and especially a purple backpack with a soccer ball print. But what made Emily happiest more than anything else was the brand new pair of white cleats with blue trim she had dreamed of. "Mom, I'm going to play like a real professional now." Emily beamed, eyes shining. "You've always been special," Sarah smiled. "Now you just have the shoes to match." On Saturday morning, the sky over New York was a rare, clear blue. Sarah walked Emily to the neighborhood field where the kids' team played every weekend. Emily was bubbling with excitement as she warmed up with her teammates. The air filled with the sounds of cheerful shouts. Sarah found a seat among the other parents, watching her daughter with pride. Life was still hard, but for the first time in so long, she didn't feel less than anyone else. As the referee raised his whistle to start the game, a ripple of whispers spread through the crowd. People turned their heads. Sarah followed their gaze and almost jumped to her feet. David Beckham was walking onto the field. He wore simple workout clothes, a dark baseball cap, sunglasses, no bodyguards, no fuss. But in an instant, the kids swarmed him, cheering, holding up their phones. For pictures. "Mom, he really came. Beckham's here at our field." Emily yelled, eyes wide. David smiled, waving at the kids. He shook hands with the coach, exchanged a few words, then made his way to the stands, stopping right beside Sarah. "Hello again, Sarah, Emily," he said cheerfully. "I remembered the game was today. I didn't want to miss it." Sarah's voice wavered. "You didn't have to do this. You've already done so much, just a little more. I promised myself if I could, I would." David sat down beside her through the match. He clapped and cheered, shouting encouragement. "Go on, shoot." He called when Emily took a corner kick. She played the best game of her life, running tirelessly, eyes bright with joy. Her team won 2-1. Afterward, the kids gathered around David for autographs, selfies, showing off their jerseys. He took time with each of them, patient and kind. When it was Emily's turn, David knelt to her level, pulled from his bag a white LA Galaxy jersey signed with his name on the back. "For you. Not just because you played well, but because you're the daughter of a truly strong mother." Emily hugged the jersey like a treasure. Behind her, Sarah's tears fell, this time tears of happiness. I don't know how to thank you. Just promise me you won't give up," David said softly. "When I was a boy, someone helped my family. Today, I'm just keeping a promise to myself." He handed her a business card. "This is the contact for the Beckham Foundation. We're looking for someone to lead a support group for single moms. You have the experience, and more importantly, you have the heart." Sarah hesitated, holding the card. "I'm not sure I deserve this." "You deserve more than you think, and Grandma Lucy already knows. She said she's meant to fly. My diner isn't meant to keep a bird who can touch the sky." Before leaving, David leaned down and whispered to Emily, "Success isn't measured by goals scored, but by the people you inspire. Just like your mom inspired me." That evening, as the sun dipped behind Brooklyn's red brick rooftops, Sarah and Emily walked home. Emily clutched the jersey like a prize. Sarah held the card as if it was a ticket to a new life. Their little apartment felt warmer that night. Sarah made hot chocolate, 1 cup for her, 1 for Emily. They sat at their old wooden table, the soft glow of the lamp wrapping them in peace. "Mom, is Beckham really a superstar?" Emily asked. Still gazing at the jersey, "He is. But more than that, he's a good person. And that's even greater than being a superstar." Emily nodded thoughtfully. She grabbed a pencil and wrote something carefully. Sarah looked. It said, "When I grow up, I'll help people who need it. Just like Beckham, just like Mom." Sarah couldn't stop the tears. She knew what David Beckham had left them wasn't. just money or a job opportunity. It was a reminder of the power of kindness. One small act could ease months of struggle. One sincere smile could give someone the strength to keep going. The next morning, Sarah called the number on the card. The voice on the other end was warm, full of hope. The interview was set for Tuesday. Sarah prepared her papers, polished her resume, practiced speaking with confidence in the mirror. That day at the Beckham Foundation, her heart raced, but she walked in with her head held high. Whatever the outcome, she knew she had taken the first step, no longer standing still in the storm. 2 weeks later, the call came. She got the job, coordinator for the Warrior Moms program, supporting single mothers and struggling neighborhoods. For the first time in years, Sarah no longer felt alone. One small act, a chance lunch, an unexpected gift, and a heart willing to give. It all started with a man who had known hardship and who never forgot to look back and lift someone else up. You may never meet David Beckham in your life, but that doesn't mean you can't be the David Beckham to someone else. The one who reaches out at the right moment, who quietly gives hope, who plants a seed of kindness with a simple gesture. Sarah received a blessing she had never even dared to dream of, and she chose to keep that circle going by helping other women like herself. And Emily? She still practices her kicks every afternoon. But now, each time she scores a goal, she doesn't shout in triumph. She just smiles softly and glances back at our mom, as if to say, I know who gave me this belief. What would you do if one day someone gave you an unexpected chance? Would you keep it to yourself, or would you pass it on like a seed of kindness waiting to grow? Sarah's story reminds us, kindness doesn't need to be loud. It only needs to come at the right moment to the right person. And one day you'll see you can be the one who changes someone's life.